Christine and Tim.
Christine, Safran, Ntim.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
All right. So, hello, everyone. Christine and Tim here. I am excited to be on a call with you all. I'm in a, high energy right now. I've been going to back-to-back Tech Week experiences from between New York and the UK, and it's just really been an amazing experience being around startup founders, funders, entrepreneurs, government officials, all different players in the startup ecosystem. And as I'm meeting with people, speaking on stages, partnering, collaborating, and just really having very tangible and practical conversations around the state of business and the state of the startup ecosystem around the world, I recognize the fact that I think there's a conversation that we're not having right now that I think needs to be addressed. So give me a shout out in the comments if you feel like, everyone's talking about AI, but not the world pre and post AI when it comes to being a startup founder. I think there are more and more people entering the role of entrepreneurship more and more, especially in the state of this economy. I do think that in this economy, you have to have some type of entrepreneurial edge to be able to operate and thrive in this economy. And with that said, I do think that, AI and technology is a great equalizer. It's a great enabler. But what's going to really give you a true competitive advantage in this year and beyond is really three things, and what I call being a AAA threat, having the adaptability, authority, and authenticity to really operate in this new digital era of AI and exponential tech that we're seeing in real time. So this is a simple, brief, founder leadership masterclass with me, where I want to share with you some thoughts that hopefully can help you navigate this journey of entrepreneurship in this era, because I see a lot of new players coming into the entrepreneur scene, and some of them are like, hey, for the past decade, we've been given this narrative about, make it till you fake it, be bold and break things, this kind of Silicon Valley narrative on how to be bold, brash, and really brazen about building something worth building, right? But we live in a new era. The economy has, taken a complete different turn. And in addition to the economy, political tensions are different. The world is just different. People see things differently. People operate differently. And you as a founder need to take your place and really see that you're not just building a business, you're also building realistically a whole new way of operating. So with that said, just a brief on myself. My name is Christine Ntim. I'm the CEO of the Global Startup Ecosystem. I'm the host of this Business and Leadership Masterclass. And I want to be here with you in tandem to have a really brief strategy around how to help you navigate this era. Okay. Now, with that said, I think everyone in the world, if you are relevant and you are ears to the ground, is talking about AI. And everyone's talking about automation and what tool to leverage, the trend to pick up on. But no one's really talking about what really sets founders apart and what really helps them to thrive in this decade, where almost anyone can now become irrelevant overnight simply because there's so many new entrants into the market. And what's going to help you stand out more than anyone right now is your leadership capacity. And I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it out loud. I made a post about this yesterday. I do think that the biggest threat facing entrepreneurs in 2026 and beyond is not artificial intelligence. It's becoming irrelevant. With more and more content coming on, more and more thought leadership coming up, more people are turning from becoming consumers to becoming actual producers. And right now, I know if you are an entrepreneur on this, thread listening to me right now, comment if you could relate to this experience or this sentiment. Many entrepreneurs are overwhelmed. Many are worried about their tech stack. Many feel like they don't know what's their next AI tool or trend to hop on to stay ahead. Many feel like they're behind. Some people feel like they're just barely breathing, just catching up on a daily basis, because in a world where everyone can now generate content, launch a website, build a prototype, launch a course, launch a business, start with marketing, scale efficiency. It feels like technology, though it's an equalizer, it has made almost everyone seem the same. So your leadership capacity is going to make you stand out. This is why this is a conversation for startup founders, entrepreneurs. If you're a small business owner, if you're a creator, if you're a consultant, if you are someone with any entrepreneurial capacity, okay, and you are trying to build an idea, a business, a product from the ground up, you need to listen to this, because I truly believe if you're only focused on AI adoption and not thinking about your capacity to lead an ecosystem, a community, an environment, an idea, a framework, a position, you are going to actually lose out in this economy. Okay. So the real thing that I want to share with you here is that I want you to think in terms of being a triple A threat, right? The three capabilities I believe every entrepreneur must develop to remain relevant, resilient, and remarkable in this economy that we are operating in is, again, adaptability, authority, and authenticity. And I'm going to break those three down really quickly because I think it will help you to understand what's at stake here in order to position yourself for success. Let's talk first and foremost about adaptability, because that's the elephant in the room. Everyone is talking about how to be agile and adaptable to this new tech environment. And what I would like to say, it's not about, what tech stack you're operating on, but how to actually stay relevant when everything is changing. Okay. Now, when it comes to technology adoption, I've been in the game for over a decade now, and I've seen highs and lows on different trends and fads when it comes to the tech scene. And I will tell you, everyone right now is almost using AI for their marketing, for their thoughts, for their output, for their content. And I think that's the wrong approach. I think many of you should look at, if you're looking at technology adoption, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence, you should be looking at it from a productivity standpoint and a pattern recognition standpoint. So for us, we use AI and ChatGPT and Claude really to run tech stack audits, to do consolidation, to automate priorities in terms of like our operational tech stack, and really help us build lean operations. So we really leverage, AI for operational efficiency. And I will tell you, this has been the most painful part of us. When we were in the space of scaling, I know pre-2019, our business was just scaling 10 times every single year. I mean, it was crazy, the growth that our company was experiencing, building tech summits around the world, scaling to thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs in accelerator programs around the world. Even my startup company, my speaking engagements, my consulting gigs, everything was on an exponential curve. And 2020, the world came to a shift and everyone was transitioning. And I think that the next wave of reality check that people receive, that no one is talking about, everyone's talking about 2020 and the pandemic. No one's talking about the real wall that almost every entrepreneur hit in 2022, because during that time frame, a lot of new entrants came into the market and thought that that's how business was, right? They came into business, came into entrepreneurship during a time where business was booming everywhere. You did not have to have a real great marketing copy. Everyone was buying, everyone was, thriving. It was a completely different economy. Right now, what you're experiencing is the economy is contracting, the internet is maturing, and people are more skeptical. People don't trust as much. People have shifted their buying patterns. People have also shifted their relationship dynamic, right? Closing partnerships and deals has also shifted as well. So with that said, looking at this as just a tech solution where you just apply the right tech tool and then you are adaptable to the economy is the reason why some of you might feel frustrated, where you might be using the right tech tools, but you don't see any gains because you have not looked at, okay, how am I using this technology in a way to really get ahead, to, automate my workflows, for me to not manually summarize meetings, but every meeting I go into, I have an automated meeting summary to help me focus on what's important for pattern recognition, customer insights. I have taken every single testimonial form of comments and feedback that my clients have given me for my products, for my speaking engagements, for my consulting sessions, and put that into ChatGPT just to get a pattern of where are the gaps that I'm missing in terms of revenue opportunities and what is going well so I could double down on that. Those are called customer insights. If you are doing that manually, now you have the technology to do that. Even R&D, we have a whole new R&D department amongst my team where we are now searching and researching ecosystem stakeholders at scale right now just because of the technology. So that's how we're using AI, mainly to really reduce inefficiency and look at productivity and patterns of information and not to actually replace thought leadership. With that said, if you're looking at first adaptability in that way, the second thing that I think is the most important one, this is where you're going to start thinking about how to differentiate yourself in this current economy, is building authority. I cannot stress this enough. I think we are in a new era where founders now have to have serious thought leadership game under their arsenal. I mean, it's literally non-negotiable. If you are an entrepreneur and you are not aiming to become one of the most trusted voice in your industry, your business will fan out faster than you can even try to even scale it. And I'm going to repeat that again. You cannot no longer build a business without being an authority in your industry, simply because there are too many competitors in the market. It's hard to differentiate yourself. And so you have to really have real wins. Traction right now is your best revenge. How are you creating results for clients? How are you disrupting the market? How are you making things more efficient? How are you making things different? You have to have business leadership strategy in a completely different way. You have to be serving clients differently. You have to have business model rigor. And one of the biggest things that I tell people when it comes to authority and being a trusted voice in your industry is by practicing what you preach. So I cannot come up here and talk about how to be efficient and productive and scale a business without having my own mechanism of staying firm with my business and my operational efficiency. So one of the biggest secrets that I've shared in past lives that I'll share here again is having simplicity in your business model. Prior to the pandemic, it was easy to have multiple different things going on, multiple funnels, multiple products, because you were still getting revenue gains. Now, what you're seeing is that you got to reduce the amount of products, reduce the amount of, complexity in your business because people are overwhelmed. And so you need to have one core message that resonates with your audience. So I call this, the power of one framework, where you have one product offer, one conversion process, and one price path model. And what does that look like? So you have one product offer. What is the core thing that you offer to your clients? So at the Global Startup Ecosystem, our one flagship offer is our Digital Accelerator program. We host this program once a year and take about 1,000 companies from around the world. That is our flagship program. One conversion process. And what I call a one conversion process is because people no longer can just find you just by being one of the players in the game. You have to be able to do what I call a trust building trigger event to attract an audience to you. So a lot of you don't realize that a lot of more people are going live and having live conversations on social media because these are called trigger events. It's something where if someone's on the sidelines and see you operating with your business and did not know how to make a decision, you are coming on giving thought leadership frameworks, perspective, or a way to really engage with your clientele so they see you as an authority and want to work with you. So it's what I call a trust building trigger event. Okay. And the last thing is a one price path sales model. So for example, it's not just the price of your product, but also what is the path to that? So a lot of you are seeing that back then having a six-figure or a pricing model that was high premium was easy to offer. What we're seeing in the market is that people want to have a trust I just saw a comment. Someone said that they couldn't hear me. Sorry if I was going in and out. But just to repeat that, essentially, what I was saying. Can everyone hear me now? For some reason, I think it's still having an issue. Okay, so people can hear me that. So the second thing I was sharing with you guys is making sure that you have a business simplicity model. Okay, one product, one conversion process, and one price path. Again, that one product offer, it can't just sit there and you hope that build it and they will come. No, you have to have what I call a trust building trigger event so people can want to engage with you and make a decision on that live. In the GSC Academy, we actually have a way of showing you a script to be able to go live and convert audiences and customers and clients into customers. But we'll get to that. If you have a question, just comment GSE, and then we'll be able to give you access to that program information. But with that said, those are the three simple things that you need with your business model to not cause any complexity with your offer. And of course, what you're seeing right now is that for those of you who have too many offers, too many funnels, too many platforms, or too many competing priorities with your business, you're realizing that, hey, it's time to actually simplify. We go over that process where we tell someone, bring all your products, all your processes. What do you do for social media? What do you do for partnership? What do you do for for outreach or inbound or industry participation? And we look at having a simplified executive summary of operation to make it easy for you to scale that authority online. And the third and last but not least, and probably the biggest enabler for success right now is authenticity. And there's no better way to build authenticity, to build trust in an automated world that we're living in than actually having a strong personal branding strategy. I talk about this at length in many separate lives, that you need to have a strong personal brand as an entrepreneur in this economy. And the best way to really optimize and scale and make an efficient, consistent process with your personal brand is going live at least once a week. Providing thought leadership, perspective analysis, frameworks. You need to be going live and sharing with people, giving people your presence virtually and in person, some type of capacity to build trust. And also, with that said, you need to be participating in mainstream industry events. Right now, I tell people, you are always going to see me at, UNGA Week, United Nations General Assembly. You'll see me at Davos, at the World Economic Forum meetings. You'll see me at the spring meetings with the World Bank in DC. You'll see me at these major industry events because the work that I do is at the intersection of technology, impact, and innovation, right? And ecosystem development. So I am at these, really geopolitical tech business flagship programs to ensure that I am speaking to the right stakeholders and speaking and representing the communities that I serve efficiently. Now, of course, right now I'm in Tech Week, New York Tech Week. There's so many different events happening. I'm speaking at events, I'm partnering and collaborating. And it's important that you see me at these industry leading events so you know that I'm in the right rooms, having the right conversations with the right stakeholders. Now, I will stress that you have to also recognize the season of entrepreneurship that you're in order to not burn yourself out. I know in my 20s, when I first started my business, I was at every event, the local events, the high frame events. I have spoken at over 300 conferences to count. But right now, I feel like I'm in my Rihanna era right now. Like, as a mother of five, I choose what industry events I want to go to. I say a lot more no's than I say yeses to because I am balancing motherhood, business scaling, efficiency, and legacy building all at the same time. And I love the season that I am because I am more focused on harmony and not burnout. And so I'm just in a different, era of my life. I'm not in the hustle mode of my 20s. I'm in the legacy mode of my 30s, right? And so it's really important that you look at the season of entrepreneurship that you're in. So you're building with sustainability in mind, sustainability, not just from a business standpoint, but also from a founder-led standpoint. Are you building in a way that creates momentum for you and your business at the same time? So personal branding strategy is extremely, extremely important. Now, with that said, being a triple A threat, having the, recognition to be adaptable, leveraging the technology in the right way, having the authority to be a trusted voice in your industry by really having strong business leadership strategy advice, having the authenticity to show up and really make a personal brand that people can relate to and engage with. This is going to be crazy because I really do feel like history is going to reward people who knew how to operate in this era. It's going to operate with entrepreneurs who have seized the opportunity and the responsibility it takes to not just build a company that creates value and actually solve meaningful problems. I think we're done with the BS of people solving nameless problems, actually solving things that move society forward, and learn how to not get distracted by every single tool and trend that's being, proposed out there. And remember, why did you start this business in the first place, right? The future is going to help those who really want to show up with purpose. And I really want to make sure that this live was here to share with you and remind you that if you felt lost and confused, it's okay. This is the state of, consciousness that we are all collectively in. But I want to remind you that it's okay. It's okay to feel confused. It's okay to feel lost. But if you anchor yourself and really making sure that you understand that your greatest competitive advantage right now is not just leveraging AI as a tool, but leveraging AI to get your voice out there, to really discover who you are, I think that you will be doing society and your communities and your customers and your stakeholders a real powerful service, right? This era does not need more startup founders. It needs better entrepreneurial leaders. I'm going to say this again. Just because it's easier now more than ever to start a business, this era does not need more startup founders. It needs more entrepreneurial leaders. It needs more people standing up, standing at attention, and really caring about the business that they put forward, caring about the community served, and caring about the work that they do. So with that said, I hope that this live served you well. I hope that this conversation was helpful to you. I look forward to seeing many of you at Tech Week or a different, event this week. I'm definitely going to multiple sessions throughout the week. But as I'm having these conversations, I just felt compelled to show up and come here and say, hey, it is okay that you might feel overwhelmed and overstimulated by all that's going on with AI and tech and automation right now. However, this is your time to stand out and be a AAA threat. Really be adaptable, take leadership and have the authority, and be authentic and show up with purpose and integrity every single day. People will remember this season and remember how you showed up during this time. So with that said, I wish all of you the very best. I hope that this live was helpful to you. And thank you so much for being an amazing entrepreneur building with purpose. See you soon. Christine and Tim, over and out. Bye, everyone.
But this world, as big as it is, one person can be the tipping scale to really create a domino effect that no one ever seen coming. I would like to remind people there's going to be a lot